What's going on, everybody? It's Dillon James right here on JDF Sports. Welcome in to Out of Bounds with Dillon James. We have a lot to discuss tonight. A lot in the NFL has gone on over the past 2 weeks. We missed a show last week. Sorry about that. Had a lot going on. I was out of town with work, and now we are back. We are here on a Thursday night. Thursday Night Football is happening right now, or it's about to start right now on Amazon Prime. Hopefully you have that up so you can give us updates throughout the game as we talk to you for the next about hour or so. We do have a special guest with us this evening. Beef and Cheese is actually joining us this evening. I believe that is my wife, Ann Bailey. Thank you so much for joining this evening, Ann Bailey, downstairs after dinner. So we have a lot to discuss, but we do have a special guest for this episode because I was not going to go along this episode by myself. And also there's some big news this week that is affecting his Kansas City Chiefs. It is none other than Alex Pieper.
Thanks,
He's back.
Dylan. I don't deserve a big intro. I am a Chiefs fan, though.
I mean, was it a big intro, though? I mean, it was, I guess it was.
Right, it
wasn't the biggest, but it could have been bigger. I can bring you back if you want me to and have it bigger. I can put you back in the green room, bring you back out. Okay. We do have a lot to discuss, and Ann Bailey, he's here now. So,
Beef and cheese.
Beef and Cheese. How long have you had that screen name, Ann Bailey? I'm not sure what the duration has been, but she's had that screen name since she's like.
Am I the
a
cheese
teenager.
and you're the beef?
Maybe.
I mean, I know she loves us both.
Mm-hmm.
So.
True. Very true. We have a lot to discuss this evening. Alex did dress up for the occasion in his wife beater, skank tank. What do they say these days? So it's something PC. What? Just a tank top, I guess. These days, high school. There's a lot going on in this episode already, but we do have a lot to talk about in the
Beef
NFL.
and cheese likes it.
Yes,
Stop.
a lot to talk about in the NFL. A lot of news happened over the past 2 weeks, especially for the Tennessee Titans. They now have a new interim head coach after the firing of Brian Callahan, which we'll talk about this evening. We'll also be discussing Rashee Rice's impact on the Kansas City Chiefs moving forward this season, as the Chiefs won last week, bringing their season record to 3-3. They're even on the year. We'll see how that is impacted with Rashee Rice's return. We'll also discuss Week 6 upsets, because there were a few of those, and we will be talking about Pieper's picks as well. It has returned, and Alex has some good ones this evening, so we will talk about those. Before we do get started in the news that happened over the past 2 weeks, Alex, I do want to talk about your pick for tonight for Thursday Night Football, so it gives people some time to put in their bet if they'd like. Who is your pick for the Bengals versus the Steelers? What were some of the names that were in our group chat today for this game? Let me pull that up real fast.
Bowl, the Cialis Bowl.
The Cialis Bowl. I like that one too.
AARP Bowl.
Yep. The Life Alert Classic. I like that one as well.
The Life Alert Classic. I
The
will
Unk
say
Bowl.
the Unk Bowl. The
Mhm.
first reel I woke up to on Instagram was a dual shot of the uncle from Up getting up, and it was the top and the bottom, same video, top bottom, and it was Joe Flacco's morning routine, Aaron Rodgers' morning routine, and it was him just getting up, just creaking out of bed, taking the automated wheelchair down the stairs. It was good. AARP Bowl tonight, but if I did have to make a pick, divisional game, honestly, I don't think the Bengals look bad. And I think that it's going to be close since it's a divisional game. So I'm going to take the Bengals, but I'm going to plus 5.5. I think that's a solid pick.
Taking the spread.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to take the spread. Yeah.
Yeah. Joe Flacco does bring some stability there in Cincinnati. They're hoping that he has the resurgence like he did in Cleveland a few years ago, 2 seasons ago, in Cleveland when their starting quarterback went down with injury. Joe Flacco came in and won a few games for them. So they're hoping they can do that and put a Band-Aid on the season for now until Joe Burrow gets healthy and potentially makes a playoff run. We'll see. We'll see if Joe Flacco can do that at 40. He was not looking the best in Cleveland. They traded him away because they benched him and put Dillon Gabriel in the starting position there for the Browns. So we'll see how Joe Flacco can do the rest of the season. This will be the second game he's played. Last game he just got rushed into action for the Cleveland Browns. So this week he has a bit more time to prepare, a bit more time to gain some chemistry with his wide receivers. So we'll see how he performs against the Steelers. However, Aaron Rodgers has looked very, very good for the Steelers this year. It looks like a team that we always joke about that the Steelers are going to be 9-8 or 8-9, usually squeak into the playoffs every year. This year, however, I think Taylor Lewan was on Get Up this yesterday, I believe. Yesterday or this morning. I had it quickly on the TV. And he actually had a hot take that the Pittsburgh Steelers would wrap up the AFC North by the end of this month. They're 4-1 currently,
Really?
Right now. Yes. They're 4-1 currently. Ravens are looking like they're out of it, especially having Lamar Jackson sidelined. I think they've only had one win so far.
They've already played them?
They've already played them,
No.
yes. Once?
Yeah, okay.
I believe so.
Okay.
I'll look.
just-
Bengals are flailing right now. It's very hard for me to see a path to where Joe Flacco goes on this crazy run with the Bengals and is able to get into a position to win the division. I could see them potentially being a wild card spot. I think he can bring enough stability, more so than Jake Browning could, to be in a wild card spot. But because, this year it's so weird with the standings. We'll talk about it later on in the episode. Talk about what the standings look like in the NFL right now. But, we really don't know who's good right now or who's bad.
I know.
Who's bad. So
And my dad, my parents are in town, and my dad on this very couch right here next to my dog,
Daisy.
He looked at me and he said, "Who's good this year?" And I was like, "I don't know."
You have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea. Another big blow for the Bengals tonight, which we really didn't talk about with your pick. Trey Hendrickson is out tonight. Yeah. So their defense is not good. It wasn't good beforehand, but not having Trey Hendrickson is a pretty big blow.
They're at home, though, which I think in a divisional game makes a big difference. Just because, in the NFL, to me, home, it matters, but, it doesn't really matter until, these big, rivalry games. Because, whenever the Lions came into Arrowhead only, +2 favorite or underdogs, in a regular college game, they'd be +5, +6.5. So I just don't think that spreads reflect home field advantage as much as, a divisional game, which is why I'm taking the Bengals.
Okay.
Especially at home. Are you kidding me? Home?
They shouldn't lose by more than 6 points at home, but
no, I don't think so. And
they
look
shouldn't.
At Joe Flacco right here. He's sexy old man. Let's go, baby.
Yep, Silver Fox.
Yeah.
Or he's getting there anyway. So
yeah,
that'll be interesting game to watch. I'm sure people in the chat will keep us updated on that. Also, Ann Bailey came back and said her name is it's a homage to Elf, the movie Elf, when he told Santa he smelled of beef and cheese. That's her. That's why she has beef and cheese. And she's done. And she likes Uncle Bull.
This smells like beef and cheese. Yeah.
Well, let's not get into that. If you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, he just pointed to his armpit. And also, if you haven't done so yet, if you love the content we're creating right now on this channel, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are very, very close to 300 subscribers, and also subscribe to our audio version of this podcast. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts, we are there. So subscribe to Out of Bounds with Dillon James. We'd appreciate that. Let's talk about the NFL and everything that's been going on the past 2 weeks. We'll talk about Brian Callahan first, because I kind of want to get it out of the way. We talked a little bit about Brian Callahan 2 weeks ago as well when he was on the hot seat. I came on this podcast saying he should be fired. I mean, it's cut it off now. Don't wait. Don't wait till the end of the season. Don't let it linger. He's not going to be the coach moving forward. Why is he still here? Someone was watching this podcast. I don't know if it was Chad Brinker, Mike Borgonzi, not entirely sure. Someone was watching, and they listened to my advice, and they fired him after last week on Monday, which typically Amy Adams-Strunk is used to firing people on Tuesday. But this was on a Monday because it was a very, very bad performance against the Las Vegas Raiders. Titans had no answer on offense. Their offense is second to last or dead last. No rhythm at all. Second to last or dead last in pretty much every statistical category on offense this year. The only bright spot has been the middle of their offensive line. The middle triangle of their offensive line, the two guards in the center. That trio has been very, very good for the Titans offense so far. But that's the only thing they could really hang their hat on at this point.
I also thought they shut down Genty pretty well during the game.
They did.
How many rushing yards did he have? I mean, under 100.
74, I think, or 75, something like that.
I think that's, in modern day NFL, right? I think that's good. You see Bijan Robinson running up 150 plus rushing yards on Sunday night. I mean, or on Monday night, excuse me. I think that's a positive, right?
Yeah.
In today's modern NFL. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, I think the defense is doing well too. I mean, looking at what the defense did against the Raiders in this game only scored 20 points. It was 20-10. In this day and age, and the modern NFL, if you hold a team to 20 points, you're typically going to win that game. And that's something we've said about this Tennessee Titans team for the past 2 years. We've said if you can hold a team to 20 points, you should be able to put up enough points as a modern NFL offense to win that game. And the offense has not been complementary with the defense to where the defense is just getting gassed in the fourth quarter, typically. In the second half, fourth quarter, that's when the defense starts kind of wearing a little bit thin, and that's when they start scoring their points, which was the case in this game. The Titans held them to 10 points in the first half, and then the Raiders got a touchdown in the third quarter, and then a field goal in the fourth quarter. Kept them in the game, but again, no rhythm on offense, no ability for Cam Ward to get settled and score points and get in the end zone. So all that to say, Brian Callahan was fired by Amy Adams-Strunk and the front office with Mike Borgonzi and Chad Brinker. Chad Brinker came out and did say it was not necessarily an Amy Adams-Strunk decision. It was a conversation. It was a collaborative answer to fire Brian Callahan. They saw no growth. No growth in the offense, no growth in Cam Ward. That was their reasoning. He used growth in that press conference about the firing probably 40 times when he was discussing the situation. So I completely agree, as you can see on this podcast, I completely agree with this move. I think this was the best decision for the organization moving forward. Now is going to be a crucial time for the Titans. They have Mike McCoy, who is the former Chargers head coach, I think 2013 to 2017. I think it was 4 seasons there. Didn't have the best record there either. Doesn't have a great track record as a head coach. So this is his second opportunity since then. He's just there to bring stability. During his press conference, he said he wants to focus on players, not plays. He wants those players to be set up for success instead of calling plays and hoping those players fit into that scheme. He wants to scheme up plays for those players. I love that. I love that mentality, love that mindset. That's really what Brian Callahan was trying to sell us in the offseason for the Titans. Didn't come to fruition. He was saying that Cam Ward was going to have plays from his Miami playbook that they were going to put into the offense. Didn't really come to fruition. It just seemed like he was running the same offense that he did with Will Levis, that he did with Mason Rudolph.
I heard that he wasn't even allowed to call plays on the line.
He wasn't anymore. He wasn't. Bo Hardegree was calling plays. Bo Hardegree would still call plays for Mike McCoy moving forward this season. They're just trying to keep this ship above water for the rest of the year. I mean, at this point, Mike McCoy, this is kind of like an audition, I would say, for not necessarily just the Titans job, but for any NFL head coaching job that will open up this offseason. He's trying to show what he can do with a struggling offense, with a rookie quarterback, and see what can happen after that. So I'm really optimistic about what Mike McCoy can do. It's not anything worse than what we've seen so far. So as long as we can score some points, I don't mind. I don't care if we go 0 and what is it? We have 10 more games left.
Yeah.
0 and 10.
Do you think it's
I don't
gonna?
mind.
Do you think it's gonna open up the playbook? Like, is that what you want?
That's what he has alluded to. He's alluded to the fact that he's going to let Cam be Cam, and I think that's probably beneficial. Letting Cam
And what does that mean? He's
make
gonna
mistakes.
run more 'cause
Not necessarily. I mean, I think the biggest thing is Brian was very, very gun shy with Cam Ward. He made it to where he wasn't throwing the deep shot. He wasn't throwing the deep ball
not
very
at
much.
all.
He was, I think, majority of his passes were at or behind the line of scrimmage or within like 5 yards of the line of scrimmage last game.
Yeah.
So very, very safe play calling, very conservative. And I think they want to show that they want to say, hey, Cam, let it loose. Let it loose, see what you can do in the game. If you can't get away with it, that's fine. You learn from it. Learn from it. Don't let it happen again. Move forward, and you progress that way. I think that's the best way to approach Cam Ward. Let him be who he was in college. Let him be the playmaker, gunslinger he wants to be, and see what they can do. But that also means his wide receivers have to step up. That also means that some of the play calling they have, like that there is hardly any motion when it comes to like pre-snap motion for the offense while Brian Callahan was at the helm. Hopefully that increases. Hopefully we see some like RPO as well. Hopefully we see some play action. Some of these things that Cam can do well, get him out of the pocket. I think if we can get him out of the pocket, shift the line, I think that we can see some good things from Cam the rest of the year. But I want to see growth from Cam as well. I think that's the big thing. You just didn't see it. You saw more regression than you saw growth with Cam.
And you can tell he's frustrated too. I mean, I think there was like, didn't he say something on social media too about just trashing the Titans?
I mean, he wasn't necessarily trashing the Titans. He had an article with The Athletic this past week and said that they weren't playing the football he wants to play. However, when they do, the league better watch out for him.
Yeah,
pretty much.
Right.
So, again, we'll see how it goes. I like Mike McCoy. I like what he's said so far. I'm not expecting anything from Mike McCoy this week. They're playing up against the Patriots at home. It's a Mike Vrabel homecoming game. I'm sure Mike Vrabel has every intention to come into this game and put up as many points as possible.
I like Titans plus 14. Or I like Titans team over 15.5. I think at home, 2 touchdowns and a field goal. Come on.
They should.
Yeah. I like that. I like the home team, rallying around the Titans. I think it's there, especially after a letdown game against the Raiders. I mean, you're playing against the Raiders, man. Come on. And the signs of life were there at the end of the game. Cam Ward was slinging it a little bit towards the end of the game. It felt right. So I think as long as we can pick up that momentum into the next game, I think all signs point to at least 17 points.
Yeah, I would hope so. And I think fans would be excited about that. If they can score at least 17 this weekend, hell, even 20, the fan base would be very, very excited about what can happen with this team.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll see how it goes. So we'll keep you updated on the Titans, of course, because I'm a big Titans fan. But we'll talk about other teams on this show as well. Like the Kansas City Chiefs, they are getting their number 1 wide receiver back in Rashee Rice. They've had Xavier Worthy. They've had Juju Smith-Schuster, Travis Kelce. To start the season, they weren't playing so hot. They got into a hole pretty quickly. But since the Ravens game, it seems like they've kind of picked up the momentum a bit, and they are now sitting at 3-3, 500 on the year so far. What does Rashee Rice do coming back into this offense? What does he add to this team, and how does their trajectory change with that new piece in the offense back for Patrick Mahomes and crew?
So you no longer have an isolated deep threat. Xavier Worthy was always the isolated deep threat. Now Rashee Rice comes in and can provide an extra deep threat that will have to expose the defense in 2 ways. I think that's really important to any, for any defense, right, you have to cover two deep backs because we really were isolated. We didn't have anyone quick. Juju Smith-Schuster was more of a 20, 30-yard quick check down back. Same with Tyquan. Tyquan Thornton really picked up in the last couple games impressively. But he got caught. I think in the last game, I was looking at some tape just yesterday, actually, with the Lions. He was doubled most plays, deep threat. Hard to pass to. There was really nothing open. Patrick Mahomes had over 75 or had over 50 rushing yards. So it was just a tough game for air yards. But yeah, I think Rashee Rice now being available, it's really going to open up the playbook a little bit more and expand how the Chiefs can, perform with air yards for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. Just having more weapons on the field is going to be beneficial for the Chiefs, especially for Patrick Mahomes. Have that check down option of Travis Kelce, of Juju Smith-Schuster as well to be kind of like that check down, but then also the yards after catch for Juju. I think he has that ability as well. Deep threat, definitely. Stretching the ball down the field is something that Patrick Mahomes has hung his hat on throughout his career so far in the NFL, and I think having that threat back of Rashee Rice will definitely allow him to get back into that conversation to be that deep threat again. I see it as a good thing. There are a lot of mouths to feed, as they say, when it comes to that many weapons. Do you have any concerns about that?
As long as we don't get into a Eagles situation, I like to call it the Eagles situation, right? A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, I think they're in the pigeonhole that they are because you get into personality football. I don't think that the Chiefs are there yet. It will tell itself in the next couple of weeks. If Rashee Rice isn't, remember Xavier Worthy is he's second year wide receiver. He has no room to be complaining like AJ Brown does. Not saying AJ Brown should even be complaining anyway. I think the Eagles should be throwing him the ball more. Clearly in the last game that they should have won. Okay. AJ Brown had like 6 targets, over almost 100 yards in the last game. They kept it competitive against a dynamic Giants team. Come on. You can't argue that they weren't dynamic. They were incredible on the field. I think that there won't be any team dilemma. I'm not worried about it. Rashee Rice, he had his own problems off the field. So he'll come back. He'll come back, and he's going to be part of the offense. I don't expect him. The organization has already said he's going to get a huge workload, which I am a bit surprised by. But he's a reliable back. Not a back, but he's a reliable wide receiver. He's proven himself, successful, and so. I don't think there'll be the team dilemma, or the team drama, but it'll be really interesting to see how much they target him in the next game, because it's kind of going to be to be honest, we're playing the Raiders. I don't really expect it to be a competitive matchup. I expect second half. We're primarily running the ball with Kareem, and probably Kareem is going to take the majority of the carries in the second half. So, but yeah, it'll be interesting. But again, I don't think it's going to be any like team dilemma dynamics like the Eagles are having, because they are on a whole separate play field.
Yeah, they are. It was rough to watch them on Thursday Night Football when this season it has been hard to watch them, especially when you have 3 tush pushes like you did against the Giants in a row. We'll talk more about that in just a second, because we do have the Week 6 upsets. That is one of the games I want to touch on, because the Giants looked, like you said, very, very good. And with their running back Scattaboo looking demonic at times, I do not want to get in the way of that guy. He looks crazy, and a white crazy running back is just not something I want to
and also a white crazy quarterback too.
Yeah, true eating W's with Jameis Winston on the sideline and on the field. Like it's crazy for them.
Dart plays a different personality on and off the field, which I think is really refreshing. I think with most quarterbacks in the league, they play the same dynamic, but I think Jackson Dart is certainly he's exciting to watch.
Yep.
I really like watching him.
For sure. But yeah, I think Rashee Rice, it just gives him more. It gives Patrick Mahomes more options. I don't think it'll be anything that there will be concerns about because they're so. Andy Reid has such a good foundation there, such a good culture there in Kansas City, to where I think they understand it's not about you winning, it's about us winning. It's about the team winning.
Yeah, agreed.
So I think that's going to be the difference that we see between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs. Because looking at Nick Sirianni, the way he acts, I don't get that same vibe from him like I do for Andy Reid at all.
I do. I agree. Andy Reid is like last Thursday night, or it was Sunday night, because we're always in prime time. I always get confused. Two nights ago,
rub it in.
Not this. Yeah, I know. It wasn't this because we were Sunday night football this week. It was the week before when we were Monday night football against the Jaguars. Andy Reid and Patrick sat down with Jason, right? Jason Kelce.
Jason,
it was Andy.
Yeah,
it was
Kelce,
Andy, Patrick, right. And Travis.
Yep.
With Jason. And there was a moment in the interview where
Thursday football.
Travis, no, it was Monday night.
Never mind, it's ESPN. That's right, Monday Night Football. Yep.
Yeah. Andy was making a joke to Jason. Jason was asking Andy, like, how do you? And he was kind of like word vomiting a little bit. Didn't really know what to say. And Andy goes, "Spit it out!" And Travis slapped Andy on the thigh, and he said, "Coach." And I just it really set with me because like that is the culture there. Like you can slap your coach on the thigh, and it's the little things like that that really speak to me because growing up playing soccer with my coach, just having that mentality and being able to like talk to your coach like that. Yes, they're at 3 level. They're so high above what I ever was. Like I never even played collegiately, but it just means a lot when you can have that level relationship with your coach. I think that it means, and I watch videos with Spags, and how players admire Spags. That is just so important to the team. And I'm really excited to see where it goes.
Well, I mean, also winning helps that as well. I mean, winning breeds that camaraderie, that kind of culture. If you're winning and the coach and the players trust each other, then that's when that kind of relationship grows and matures. And I think that's something we've seen there, and it's been refreshing. It's going to be interesting to see what happens. I know along the line we'll probably see Andy Reid retire. Not necessarily saying it's going to happen soon, but
sure.
I trust it will probably happen before Patrick Mahomes retires because he's going to have a long career in the NFL, barring any crazy setback. So that'll be interesting to see how that continues after Andy Reid. But in the meantime, enjoy it as a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I'm sure you are, and just live in that moment because that's something definitely special there in Kansas City. Let's talk about these upsets that happened in Week 6 because one of the big upsets, Thursday Night Football, Giants versus Eagles. Giants were at home in the Meadowlands, and the Giants won 34-17 handedly against the Philadelphia Eagles. Going into this game, the Eagles had this connotation of, okay, yeah, they're 4-1, but they're winning these games, one-score games, very close every time they're winning. Yeah. They don't look like the powerhouse that we think they would be coming into the year. People were talking about, even still, how bad they've been playing. Talking about Nick Sirianni and his job security and all sorts of things were coming out. It's funny because the media was talking about that. There were other media heads out there saying like, oh, these conversations are happening. I don't know why. But then they have this performance against the Giants, losing 34-17 when Daboll is on the hot seat there in New York, and Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo just came in and dominated.
I watched the week before against the Saints where I think the Giants had like 3 turnovers. Dart had 2 fumbles. He threw a pick. He might have even thrown a pick six. I can't recall, but turnovers plagued them. And after the game, Dart said, "We'll fix this." And it really struck to me like, okay, all right, anyone can say that. We can fix this. And when they started out driving the ball down the field and they scored a touchdown, I thought right away, this is real. Like I think they really did come in and fix this. It was a multi-dimensional offense. We had throwing, we had rushing. I thought it was really impressive. And every time the Eagles responded in the first half, the the Giants would come back. There really wasn't any pause in the offense, which I thought was super impressive. And yeah, you watch that game. If you had to go back and look at the replay, you can just tell right away how important Jackson Dart is to the offense and Scadaboo, right? It's obvious. Look at when Dart had a concussion or perceived concussion. You watch the sideline and watch everybody going in that tent and inspecting how he's doing. And I even heard rumors that Dart was like picking through the screen to watch what was going on. That is infectious to an offense, that type of energy. It was just, I heard that. I believe that was the reason why they won the game, the energy that they had on the sideline, both of those guys. It was impressive.
Yeah. I'm sure Giants fans are really excited just to see what the future could be with Jackson Dart. I'm still skeptical about Brian Daboll moving forward, being the head coach there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be one of those things where if they go 800 or 700 on the rest of the season for their games, if they win 70% of the rest of their games, that I don't think Brian Daboll's getting fired at that point.
I don't think so either.
But
awkwardly enough.
Yeah, but showing the tenure that he's had, the success other quarterbacks have had leaving New York, especially Daniel Jones, going to the Colts and showing what he's been doing. Indiana Jones down there, playing really well for the Colts so far. Yeah. Brian Daboll, he was supposed to be the quarterback guy. He's supposed to be the quarterback guru. And
the
whisperer, yeah. And up until that point, he wasn't doing well. Russell Wilson came in. Russell Wilson wasn't playing well under the quarterback whisperer. And then Jackson Dart comes in. This was the first guy this is the first guy that Daboll's been able to hand pick in a draft and say, this is the guy I want.
This is the guy that fits my system. Daboll or Joe Shane that picked the guy?
I think it's Daboll.
You think so?
I think it's Daboll. Yeah, I think Daboll had a really heavy hand in it because, he's playing for his job at this point. He has to get a proven commodity. He has to get a proven guy that he knows that can be successful for him to be successful. And if they're not successful, then he's out the door. So I think that Jackson Dart did a lot in their meetings before the draft, left an impression on Brian Daboll, and Daboll said because I even saw there was a behind the scenes video of him putting, I don't know if it's Jackson Dart or another quarterback, putting them through like the ringer on like saying, okay, this is the coverage. What will you do based on this coverage? What will you do this? And go on the whiteboard and draw it out for me. And just like hounding the guy. Like he starts drawing it. Oh, no. Actually, this guy switched over to cover 2 or cover 3 or whatever. Really interesting. And from the sound of it, that conversation between Daboll and Dart went extremely well. And from the sample size we've seen so far, we see it translating to the field, which has been great for the Giants. Yeah. Once again, they're able to have a balanced attack as well. They have a guy that is competent at quarterback, and Cam Scadaboo, the Tasmanian devil himself, just has been running wild ran for 3 touchdowns in this game too. And all these videos coming out from Arizona State, him pounding his head on a brick wall with his helmet on.
Love it.
Crazy man.
Also, Wan'Dale Robinson too has really stepped up. I think that he's an elite quick bat. He's a quick guy. Love seeing Wan'Dale succeed. I'm a Nebraska fan, and Wan'Dale's from Nebraska. Love seeing it. Yeah, I love what the Giants are producing. I when I was watching the game, I just thought that the level of energy both those guys are producing, it was infectious to the team. Like even Al Michaels, he made a comment. He said, like, how as an older guy on the field, as a veteran, how can you not suck up this energy? And I really thought that really stood out to me too, because it is infectious, right? Like I think that energy really stands out, and they have to keep that up. I think both of them do. There's going to be down moments where they're going to struggle, and I think you just got to, because you're on prime time now. We have to play at 1 p.m. We have to play at 1 p.m. wherever. Sure, we're playing at the Meadowlands, but like we could be playing away at 1 p.m. You have to still keep that energy up if you want to win games,
Yep.
because this is the NFL. It's a tough league to play in, and you're gonna have to keep playing at a high level and keep that energy level up for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. On the flip side, the Philadelphia Eagles, yeah, you said it, with A.J. Brown having 6 receptions in this game, had 80 yards, so he had a productive
Yeah,
night.
yeah,
Nothing to scoff at. It's probably one of the best producing nights he's had this season.
yeah.
And
Sadly,
sadly, which is crazy to think for A.J. Brown.
yeah,
There's even talks about trade rumors for A.J. Brown, too. Howie Roseman might make a move before the trade deadline to potentially get some cornerback help. Um, we'll see how that goes, because their defense is not the best either this season.
no, it's
But
not.
Saquon's not running the best. He only had 12 carries in this game, 58 yards on
Yep,
12 carries.
and 30 of those came in the first two plays of the game.
Yeah. Like, you can't be successful. You have to have a running attack. And again,
Yeah,
the Giants did get up pretty quickly on the Eagles, and it got to a point where they had to throw the ball. And that's
yeah,
the reason why there were Jalen Hurts had 283 passing yards on the night, 24-33. Pretty efficient. Threw an interception as well. Passer rating of 95.9. So he had a pretty good night compared to what we've seen of
yeah.
Jalen so far this season. Dallas Goedert was their number one
Huge. Got me so many
target.
fantasy points.
Crazy.
Loved it.
110 receiving yards,
Yep.
9 receptions, and a touchdown as well. So,
Great night.
yeah, Eagles have to figure it out on defense. I think that's the big thing for them. Also, they have to figure out a way to balance their attack, balance their offensive
Yeah.
attack, have that pass game and that run game as well. I know you can't replicate what Saquon Barkley had last year, but he still
Sure.
has to be heavily involved in that play,
Yeah.
in
You
that
got to
scheme.
feed the personalities too. I think
Yep.
that is huge. I know that's living in a fantasy world, but you do have to. I mean, AJ Brown, he deleted that tweet that he made 2 weeks ago about how he wasn't getting enough targets. That's real. That impacts an offense. That impacts everybody. They see it. You can't imagine Jalen Hurts not thinking about that when he drops back to throw the ball. Maybe he doesn't, but with a strong of a threat that AJ Brown is to a opposing defense, you got to think that he's worth throwing the ball to a little bit more. So,
Yeah,
you
for
know.
sure.
But then, it comes to forcing it. Like, are you going to force it, right? Yeah. I I'm still I'm look at the Eagles last year, right? They had their stride at the end of the season. That's how I think they lost their first couple of games. They're pretty much in the same position they were last year, at this point. So, it's the NFL. Anything can happen, right?
Yep.
Look at the Chiefs.
Yep,
So,
for sure.
yeah.
Let's go to our next game here. Cowboys versus Panthers. Panthers win at home 30-27 against the Cowboys. Cowboys defense is atrocious. Jerry
How
Jones
many
is
yards did
already
Dowdell have? How
Dowdle
many yards did Dowdell
had,
have?
let's double check. He had a lot. Which is another question
Yeah.
for their running back room. 183 rushing yards.
Woohoo!
And
Yeah.
didn't Jerry trade for a defensive tackle that was apparently a run stopper?
I think so.
One
Yeah.
of the best defensive tackles in the league that was supposed to be helping their run defense. But anyway,
It's funny that Dowdell came from Dallas too. Just saying.
yeah, that gave him a little bit extra momentum, extra motivation for that game to play against his former team and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
Dallas is sitting at 2-3-1. CeeDee Lamb is coming back this week for the Dallas Cowboys, it sounds like, which will be good for Dak. But Dak,
huge.
Regardless of that, Dak has actually had a pretty good career, a pretty good season so far.
Yeah.
1,617 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, only 3 interceptions so far this season. And they're 2-3-1.
I'm gonna tell you, I have Sunday ticket, and anytime that I can watch the Cowboys, I watch the Cowboys. I'll tell you that right now, because they have no defense, and they're electric on offense. When I pulled up that, when I was betting on that Cowboys Panthers game, I took the over, and that hit. I mean, first half, I knew that was gonna hit. It was tracking. I think it was 17-14 at the half. Are you kidding me? It was a great game to watch as a fan of football, right? It was a great game. I love watching. First of all, I like watching the Panthers. I think a lot of people have written down Bryce Young. I think Bryce Young he fits into the realm of Tua Tagovailoa. He short guy, but look at last year. I mean, he got put on the bench for Andy Darnold. I mean,
Andy Dalton.
That's Andy Dalton. I'm sorry. That's tough. Andy Darnold. But yeah, I'm a big fan. I like watching the Panthers. Great game. Yeah. And the Cowboys, honestly, I have them in a season-long bet. I need them to win over 7 games. So
I think they'll do that, especially having CD come back. I think that's going to be a huge boost for that team. Yeah. It's interesting to see their defensive performance so far. Brian Schottenheimer being the head coach there for the Dallas Cowboys at this point. Jerry Jones has also already come out and said he has ammunition to make a trade to make this defense better by the trade deadline.
Just focus on the offense at this point.
You have to have some defensive help, though. I mean, it would be great if you had like an elite pass rusher to still go in there and get that quarterback down and, be all over the field for you on defense. But unfortunately, you don't have one of those.
They would be winning the 7 games that I need if they kept Mr. Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons.
Michael Parsons.
Yeah.
Michael Parsons. Yes.
Rough. We'll see what moves he makes. I don't know what ammunition he's talking about. I don't think they have that much money on the cap space.
Jerry's shooting bullets, so who knows? Or he's shooting blanks.
Shooting blanks at this point. We'll see who he decides to trade to try to get a better defensive pick. Probably he'll probably trade for somebody who's on injured reserve coming back or something. Be something crazy. Panthers, though, on the opposite side, like you said, Bryce Young was efficient, 17-25, 199 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Rico Dowdle, though, was the main cog in that offense last weekend. 183 rushing yards, and that's the thing. Pound the rock, and if it keeps working, keep pounding it. And it was
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, Rico Dowdle has been playing very well. He's been scoring like 25 plus fantasy points the past 2 weeks.
He's my primary back, by the way.
Yes, same for me as well in another league of mine for work. But
love it.
The big question mark is going to be when Chuba Hubbard comes back, which it sounds like he is nearing his return either this week or next week. I think they're talking about this week, him coming back. So potentially splitting carries between Rico Dowdle and Chuba Hubbard for the Panthers.
Yeah, I think you put Chuba in the I think you play both of them, and maybe I don't know. Nowadays, like you look at Bijan Robinson, he can play him as well as Saquon. There's so many backs in the league now that can play wide receiver. I mean, why not? Why not try it out? I mean, they're both talented, fast guys. I wouldn't want to waste. I wouldn't want to waste it.
Yeah, I think the first 2 weeks he's back, I think it's probably going to be a split with Dowdle. Dowdle will probably have about 60 to 70% of the carries at least to kind of get him ramped up back into the offense and make sure that he stays healthy with Hubbard. And then I think you would probably see him come into packages like that. I mean, why
Yeah.
would you not have both of your playmakers on the field at the same time? I think that's
Especially
something
the
that
proven track record.
right, and I think Dave Canales will actually do a pretty good job of implementing an offensive scheme to where he does have both those playmakers on the field at once.
Yeah.
To confuse defenses, I think he will be able to do that for that team, and
Yeah.
that's probably gonna be the best decision for the Panthers to be successful this year is to have those two backs involved as much as possible for the offensive side of the ball, and
Yeah.
also providing a lifeline for Bryce Young moving forward as the quarterback there. So playing well. I think they're going to have to do. They're going to have to put up points as well. Their defense obviously wasn't the best, but I mean, again, they played up against a very, very strong Cowboys team. Even without CeeDee Lamb, I think that offense is still very, very powerful. George Pickens has been playing like his hair's on fire. I mean, and of course, he's in a contract year. He wants to get a new contract next year. We'll see who pays him. But he's been playing very, very well. And it'll be interesting to see the split. We were talking about the Chiefs earlier with Rashee Rice coming back. The split between CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens, that's going to be fireworks potentially.
Yeah. I you know what? This year, Dak has been impressive. I mean, generally, he's thrown pick after pick, forcing plays. It will be, yeah. You bring up a great point about that. It'll be interesting to see what happens because I'm excited to see it. I'll have my Sunday ticket on, Quadcast. I'll be watching it.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the next game. This was a Monday Night Football game. 2 Monday Night Football games we'll talk about because they were both great games to the last minute. Falcons Bills actually wasn't to the last minute. It was pretty handedly won by the Falcons. Falcons won this one at home 24-14. Bijan Robinson, talking about running backs, he went off in this game. Went off. Like he showed what he can be in this league and that he can be a top 3 running back in this league because he's perfectly utilized in the offense right now with Michael Penix Jr. I think those two, we're talking about chemistry with running backs and quarterbacks. With Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo, Michael Penix Jr. and Bijan Robinson have a really, really good connection right now. And the offensive line's doing great for Bijan Robinson. He's able to get in space and just make plays with the ball. He is going to be a player to watch the rest of the season. I'm very glad I drafted him in the first round this year.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Raheem Morris did what James Franklin failed to do as Penn State's coach, which is rely on your two backs, your primary backs. I mean, you have Bijan Robinson, and then you have what's the secondary back's name for the Falcons?
I knew you were going to ask me.
Shoot, it's
I'll figure it out. Tyler Algier.
Tyler Algier. Both those backs. I mean, Algier. I think last year I remember betting on both of them. They were always a solid 2-play for me when I would do a parlay, and I teased them heavily. I really like both of them, and I think Raheem Morris utilizing them as effectively as he does, I think it's such a great play. It's great for running the play action, and it's just I like the Falcons. I've always been a big betting fan of the Falcons. They've always been fun to watch. And yeah, I'm really excited about the Falcons.
Yeah, for sure.
Great team to watch.
And Algier is a really good short yardage back. You usually see him on third down. Bijan is growing into a 3-down back. He could be out there the entire game. I mean, he already is. And also catching the ball out of the backfield as well. I think he has such versatility to his game now that he's become a major weapon, a weapon that we were expecting to see out of Texas. That it took a little while to get there, but I think we're finally in that breakout moment for Bijan to have this breakout season and to continue that momentum moving forward for the Falcons. On the flip side, the Buffalo Bills with Josh Allen. Josh just did not have a good night against this Falcons defense at all. Throwing multiple picks in this game, only scoring 14 points, just did not look like the Josh Allen that we're used to seeing with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, we saw the Josh Allen we're used to the last couple of years, or rewind 2 years ago when Josh Allen was trying to be Superman. I don't think he was trying to be Superman, but you know, we didn't see a good side of Josh Allen. I don't think there's anything more to say about that. I would hope that they turn around. I think they are a sexy team to watch in the NFL. I love watching the Bills. I think most of the NFL likes watching the Bills. The Bills like watching the Bills. Otherwise, they fucking kill themselves in the mosh pit in Buffalo. So, yeah, weird. That was a weird game for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, Monday Night Football as well. I mean, it just can be kind of wonky at times.
Yeah.
I'm not even sure what the pick was on that game. Was it all in favor of the Bills?
I think
or were there several
on TV? I'm not really sure what it was, but the spread was definitely Bills, favored by 3.5.
Hey, good old Fitz in the chat. Welcome to the chat, Fitz. We were talking about some games last week, week 6. Sorry, Smokey's rolling around doing something in the back. Some of the week 6 upsets that we saw last week. Bears, Commanders. Ben Johnson has been doing very, very good for Chicago so far. He is setting Caleb Williams in a position to where he can be successful. He's putting him in the right place, calling the right plays for where it's not like Superman. It's not like you're putting him in a Josh Allen predicament where you have to put the team on your back and carry this team forward. He's utilizing all the weapons at his disposal in the play calling. Yeah. The play calling is still as creative as it was in Detroit. Bring it over with the weapons they have there in Chicago. Caleb is having a field day with this team as of right now.
Watching Caleb throw off platform is just so impressive. He throws an off platform throw. I mean, on the run, it is so impressive. As long as he can keep that up, I think the Bills will definitely, or the Bears will, keep strives and win in the NFC. What they play in what division they play in?
NFC North.
North? Yeah. No reason not to believe that. They're a solid team for sure.
Yeah, Fitz said he's holding Caleb accountable as well, which agreed. He's definitely making it to where he has to take account for his actions on the field. And yeah, I just think that we're seeing a different side of Caleb. I mean, it just seemed like he was a bit immature at first when he first came into the league.
And texting with his pink fingernails.
Yeah, pink fingernails and all sorts. I mean, I think he's still painting his fingernails on occasion.
Whatever, as long as he throws an off-platform throw.
Absolutely. I think that he can still perform on the field for the Bears. Ben Johnson's putting him in the right place, which is great to see. And yeah, I'm glad the Bears, I mean, whenever the Bears are good, it's always good for the league.
Exciting for the NFL.
Yep, absolutely.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
I totally agree.
Even though I don't like Caleb Williams.
The Bears be good.
Having the Bears be good, I think is a good thing.
Why don't you like Caleb Williams?
I don't know. Just some of his college antics. I
do like the spiciness of him. I do. I like that a lot, actually.
I think coming into the league, having that high, like holier than thou mindset initially. The thing is, I mean, kind of Josh Allen was getting into that realm a little bit too after a little while with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
He's come back to earth, though. He's come back to be more likable, to be more, I would not necessarily, I don't know what the word I'm trying to use is, but it's just more, not necessarily humble, but knowing that it's not, he doesn't have to be out there and be just all douchey.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess at the end of the day, he was just being a douche. He's
icon.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Josh Allen has grown from that and matured a bit when it comes into that department. But I think Caleb Williams is having that same renaissance right now with Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson is kind of whipping him into shape to not have that personality as much as he did. I did see there was a press conference he had with some reporters after Monday Night Football, talking about how he didn't have the conversation with Troy Aikman that he was supposed to before this game.
Oh, right.
He was in the training facility and he was like, I forgot. I lost track of time. We didn't have time to go talk to Troy Aikman afterwards, after the workout, tried to call Troy, and he didn't answer. And so it's just kind of like a little
I
childish
think,
to be talking about that at
yeah,
the podium. I mean, I would just have shut it down if I were him.
yeah, I would have
Um,
too. I would have
but
too.
it just
Agreed.
just things like that. I think he's getting better. He's getting there. He just has a little ways to go, and I think Ben Johnson will still be able to whip him into shape for that too.
Agreed.
Fitz said he stated that he wished Caleb did more during the win versus Washington. Talking about Ben Johnson, yeah, I mean, I think that's a good thing. Again, holding your best players accountable is not a bad thing in the NFL. I mean, making it to where like, hey, you're the one we rely on, especially with a quarterback coming into his second year, showing that that's the important thing is that in these kind of games, we're expecting you to show why you were the number one overall draft pick. Like to go in, win this game against the Commanders, and leave. And that's what, I think that even though they did win, they squeaked out a win. They could have probably won by a wider margin than they did, especially in the second half. I mean, I think they could have probably pulled away a bit more than they did. But again, I think Caleb's doing the right things with Ben Johnson. That team's looking good. On the opposite side, the Commanders lost by a point. They still don't have their main playmaker there for Jaden Daniels, which is Terry McLaurin, and we'll see when he actually gets back on the field. But yeah, that's definitely hurting that team, not having that number one wide receiver. And it's kind of funny just to show that, hey, good thing you didn't trade this guy in the offseason. Like there were calls to do so.
Yeah.
You need to have that playmaker, but hopefully he comes back soon for the Commanders.
Agreed.
All right, let's look at your picks. So we already talked about Thursday Night Football. This is Pieper's picks. I will pull up our analysis here of the picks that you have brought in.
Yeah. Set me into reality here.
Yeah, this is Hall of Fame bets application there, so you're more than welcome to go out there and download it. It's a great application. Shows you probabilities, shows you the odds on all different kind of sports books for your favorite picks. Also, it shows you implied odds as well for the picks that you make. So we'll kind of go down the list here. First one was the Bengals plus 5.5 against the Steelers. It had a 70% chance of hitting, and the implied odds are minus 233 on this pick. So we've already talked about that one. Let's talk about these next four picks. We picked one. Alex picked one from the early slate on Sunday, the afternoon slate on Sunday, Sunday Night Football, and then a Monday Night Football. So Alex, take it away.
Yeah, sure. So let me just start out with tonight. Obviously, I picked the Bengals plus 5.5. Right now, they're down 7-0 against the Steelers, or they're down 10-0 against the Steelers. But anything could happen. Sunday early slate. I'm picking the Chiefs minus 11.5, or favored by 11.5 to the Raiders. Rashee Rice is back. The Raiders were hopeless on offense. I mean, Ashton Genty was a lifeline to them, both out of the backfield and running the ball. But he's not going to be that way against a superior defense. We have a better defense than the Titans, so I think I don't think they're going to get that offensive threat that they had against the Titans against the Chiefs. So we'll be able to shut them down and score 2 touchdowns, cover the spread easy. The Sunday, the late slate, I really like the Chargers money line. I've been following Danny Dimes. They play the Colts. I've been following the Colts all season, and I've been impressed by the Colts. However, last week I did see a gap in the defense. They played the Cardinals against Jacoby Brissett, filling in for Kyler Murray. Jacoby Brissett just sliced them up like sliced cheese. I mean, he was just dominating them in every aspect, and I think that Justin Herbert, he can throw in the seam so beautifully. I like the Chargers here, and especially after coming off of, I believe, 2 losses in a row. 60% of the time, a team coming off a loss versus a team coming off a win. Granted, the Cardinals weren't coming off of a win. They were still coming off a loss. However, the Chargers flip side of the corner coming off a loss. So I do like the Chargers here, and it's minus like 125. So come on, give me the money. Um, Sunday Night Football, I'm going Falcons money line. It's the mustard play. It's Bijan Robinson. He's solid. I can't. I don't expect there to be any sort of like friction um, uh, against the um, the Panther or sorry, not the Panthers, against the Dolphins. Sorry, 49ers. I'm sorry. I just don't expect there to be much friction against the 49ers. Um, they're playing without Fred Warner. They don't have Dillon who Fred Warner. They don't have oh shoot, what's his name? Um, oh my
Is
gosh.
Kittle still out?
No, not Kittle. I'm not worried about offense. I'm worried about defense. Shoot, who is it on defense?
Joey Bosa?
Two,
No.
no, Nick Bosa. They're out with
Nick
Nick
Bosa.
Bosa and Fred Warner. Yeah. So tough matchup there. I like the Falcons. And then my last play is Monday Night Football. This one's interesting. It's Bucks Lions. I think everyone wants to say the over. I would, right? I mean, every Bucks game in the last 3 weeks, each Bucks game has hit the over. I mean, dynamic offense, poor defense. Although statistically, I mean, I think they're top tier on passing and rush defense. Vita Vea. I fucking love Vita Vea. I'm gonna take the Bucks spread on this one. I like the Bucks. I live in Orlando. Um, I like the Bucks on this one. So yeah, those are my picks. Hold me accountable. Um, if I had to pick one of all those, it's Chargers money line for sure. Danny Dimes is over. He it can't keep going. It just can't. Especially away. I just don't see it happening again. I really, really like the Chargers. In fact, I like them so much where I've placed a sizable bet on them already. So go Chargers.
Okay. So those are the bets that Alex has. You can do it as a parlay. Implied odds for that would be plus 27.57. You can get it on FanDuel Sports app for 24.68. So a little bit less than what the implied odds are. So that typically means that it's not as good. The juice is not as good on that bet as it would be on others. It looks like ESPN Bet has the best odds for that parlay altogether. Some concerns I have. Buccaneers, I don't have concerns about. I think plus 5.5. They've only not covered that once in the past 10 games. So I think that's pretty easy for the Bucs to capitalize on. When it comes to the Falcons versus the Niners, let's look at that one real quick here.
Yeah.
Looking at the money line for the Falcons, especially away. The last 10 games for away games for the Falcons, money line, they've only won one away in the past 10 out of 4. So that's concerning for me. I mean, maybe. Who knows? Brock Purdy, I don't know if Brock Purdy's coming back for this game or not. Have we heard anything about him yet?
Let me tell you right now. Limited in return to practice. Looks like he did not practice yesterday.
Yeah. Okay. Falcons defense has the edge in this game as well. Total yards, total touchdowns, passing yards.
Sorry, Dylan. He did practice. He did practice.
Okay.
He did practice. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And rushing touchdowns, that'll be an interesting matchup. Christian McCaffrey versus the Falcons defense. Now let's look at another one here. As you can see, the probability of this one hitting Kansas City minus 11.5 is kind of low, 30% here.
Because the spread is so high. NFL spreads.
11.5
spreads
high.
Beyond 10 are
11.5 is high.
Crazy.
However,
let's
look at this.
Crazy spread.
11.5 over the past 10 games has only hit 3 times. However, 3 in the last 5.
Also factor in the fact that the Raiders are going to the East Coast or to the the Midwest, I guess.
And
So
they
they're
are at
going back
home.
2 hours, and it's technically a 10 a.m. game for the Raiders. That's a big deal.
True.
So
Those are the only concerns I have. I do like the
yeah,
Chargers
that's
play.
fair.
I think at home for the Chargers, I think that should be an easy win.
That's a fucking lock.
Because did the Chargers lose last week? Or did they win?
They did lose last week to the
They lost
Commanders.
last week.
Wait. Yeah, to the Commanders, I think.
Let's double check. They lost. No, they won last week, the 12th, against Miami. But the week before that, they lost to the Commanders.
Okay. Either way.
Yeah. I feel good about the Chargers at home.
I do too.
Especially money line.
Especially that Crasian in the stands.
Oh my gosh. They're 1-1 at home in the last 5.
Okay.
It's okay.
To me.
We'll see how it goes. But those are the bets. If you want to do them as singles, you can. If you want to do it as a parlay, you can as well. I would probably veer on the side of doing straights. But if you want to do a little sprinkle on a parlay, feel free. Yeah. Feel free to tease the line too if you need to.
Yeah, if that parlay hits, also pay me a little bit too. Because I wouldn't do that parlay by myself.
I'm not putting money on it.
Okay.
But good luck if you are. That's all I'm saying. Good luck if you are
I also
out there.
like Can I just say I also like Geno Smith over on passing yards against the Chiefs because they're going to be down early and they're going to be forced to throw the ball. That was the problem with the Titans. It was close enough to where Geno didn't need to throw the ball, and also Geno threw like a pick. I think he threw a pick right in the first half, maybe. And so he was forced to not throw the ball. I like Geno Smith over on passing yards. I don't know what the line is, but I can guarantee you it's at least 210, 215. It's nothing more than 225, though. I'll bet you that because we have one of the best passing defenses in the country or in the.
Fitz in the chat still said that Debo needs to be better too for the Commanders. We were talking about Commanders just a little bit ago. Jaden Daniels definitely having a sophomore slump so far, and again, not having your main weapon out there is something to be said in this case. But Debo Samuel was paid off a good chunk of change to be there for the Commanders, to be a weapon for Jaden Daniels, and he has not been living up to that moniker when he's had the opportunity to do so, with Terry McLaurin being out, Scary Terry being out there in Washington. So I agree. I think Debo should be stepping up a bit more than he has been so far. I think Jaden's just hoping and praying that Terry McLaurin gets back as soon as possible at this point, having that weapon. That's all I have for this evening. Looking at the games this week, Alex, which game are you most interested in week
Most
7?
interested in, let me tell you, as a fan, I love watching the London games. I have a fascination for those because of that culture, the context. So I'm going to say Rams, Jaguars. I think that is a toss-up. It's going to be a good game. I'm really excited to watch that one.
Both 4-2 as well.
Yep.
I love this year. I mean, just like any year, I really like Matt Stafford. I like the Rams. I like Sean McVay. I think this year is probably one of their best years. It's going to be tough without Puka Nacua if he's not out there on Sunday. That's the only thing I'm concerned about with the Rams currently. If Puka can't go, it's going to be tough sledding.
Yeah,
for the Rams.
Agreed. I think he's going to be back though, right? I mean, he was only hurt. He came back in last week's game. So.
Yeah, let me see. Injury-wise, it looks like Puka, he was a non-participant at practice on Thursday. So typically, if he's not practicing on Wednesday and Thursday, and Friday he doesn't practice, then he's probably not playing on Sunday.
Toast. Yeah.
So
fair enough.
He'll have to rely on some other weapons out there. I mean, even though Kyron Williams probably just have a heavier load as the running back, but also as a pass catcher out of the backfield, which he's used to that. So, I mean, that will be beneficial for him. Other than that, I'm trying to think of other playmakers on that team besides Puka Nacua.
Yeah. All I know is Jamar Chase just scored a touchdown.
Okay.
Go Bengals.
Okay, go Bengals. So
Yeah.
10-6 currently against the Steelers. So 4:42 left to go in this, or about 4 minutes left to go in the second. Not bad. Not bad.
Yep.
Looking at the games this week, I am probably most excited probably about... I'm actually pretty excited to see what the Eagles-Vikings game will be, because it's probably J.J. McCarthy's comeback game as well.
Is he back?
Sounds
Okay,
like he's trending towards coming back in that game.
I like watching him.
I do too. Yeah. Philadelphia is favored by 1.5 right now at home. Minnesota's at home in this game. 4-2 versus 3-2 in this matchup. I think that's going to be a really, really good game.
What's the spread on that one?
1.5. Eagles.
Ooh, yeah. Wow.
So the Vikings aren't even getting the home bump in this game.
With McCarthy back, it's a close one. You can't determine how AJ Brown and Saquon are going to be. Like, talent-wise, how they'll be. But personality-wise, what are the dynamics in the locker room the week before the game? That you just can't tell. And I think that is so important with this team. That's why I'm so afraid to touch that game.
This will be also the first game that Jordan Addison's going to be playing with J.J. McCarthy as the starting quarterback this year as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that'll be another weapon for J.J. to throw to in this game, alongside of Jay Jetta out there. So
Jetta, yeah.
It'll be interesting. I think Jordan Addison might give a little boost to J.J. McCarthy's passing game. It was a little lackluster to begin the season. There were some moments that J.J. McCarthy had, especially in the second half of the first game he played in, where he turned it on and was able to get the win. But we'll see if he's able to get back to that and continue this winning way. I mean, they're 3-2 right now, so we'll see if they can.
And Aaron Jones comes back next week.
Yes. So there is a trade on the block from Alex. Actually, it's not official yet. It's not even officially on the trade block right now.
You declined the trade.
I didn't. Well, I declined the first one because it did not have the right players. Ramondre Stevenson, and also who was Aaron Jones. Yep, 2 running backs for my Ashton Jeanty. Let me know in the comments if you would take that bet.
Tell us what you think, chat.
I do have another offer, though. Let's voice it out here. I have another offer from the league about this. I got a text earlier today.
From Spencer?
From somebody.
Okay, yeah.
I don't know who it is because I don't have the number saved in my phone.
It's Spencer.
Maybe. It was okay. It says here's his trade offer. Ashton Jeanty for Breece Hall and Jordan Addison, and he'd also throw in Rachaad White. That exasperation that I just heard.
I don't know about
that. I have to say I am leaning a little towards that way because a wide receiver is involved. And my team is very...
What if I threw in Chris Olave?
Wide receiver. He's on the trade block right now, it sounds like. He might be moved with the way the Saints are playing this season.
Okay.
So.
Okay. All right. We'll offline about it.
I don't know. We'll talk about it. Let us know in the chat what you would think about that trade, which trade you would pick of the two.
Chris Olave, Ramondre Stevenson, and Aaron Jones for Ashton Jeanty. Remember that. Those 3 for Ashton Jeanty. Come on.
We'll see. Or Breece Hall, Jordan Addison, and who was the third one I said?
Hawkinson, right?
No. Rachaad White.
No.
Rachaad White.
Yeah.
2 running backs, 1 wide receiver.
Aaron Rodgers just threw a pick, by the way. I have it over. I had the under on Aaron Rodgers interceptions.
But the spread.
Yeah.
The spread's still alive. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody, this week. Once again, if you have not done so already, subscribe to the YouTube channel for JDF Sports. Also, subscribe to our podcast, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere you get your podcasts. We are there. Out of Bounds, Dillon James. I'm Dillon. That's Alex. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next week right here on JDF Sports.